Hello, it's me, French Ted, and we are back for episode number 19, I think it is. And this is also my second time at recording this one because OBS wanted to be a dickhead. We've got Dynamite and Collision today, and seeing as though it is the end of the month, if we've got enough time, because I don't want the episodes to be ridiculously long, we'll take a quick look at creative, etc., and see what happens. But we open with a pre-show match. There were no backstage incidents, obviously, otherwise I would have shown you. We open with a pre-show match between the Butcher and the Blade and Ortiz and Santana. 60 rating, not bad. Butcher was the weak link, which is a bit mad because he's a talent and a half. I guess it's just maybe his declining physical ability because of his age. Yeah, what I tell you. But yeah, good win for the Butcher and the Blade. Bunny doing great work at ringside. Two great teams, nice. We've got 3 pre-show matches. The second is Paige Van Zandt getting a win over Yuka Sakazaki. So after Jericho hyping her up saying the world title will be yours one day, she is continuing that belief by getting another solid win under her belt. And a 41 as well. That's good for her. I think she's been sitting around the late 30s, so I will take a 41. And obviously Yuka Sakazaki, great talent, 59, 55 overall, winner. And of course, Chris Jericho is doing some good work at ringside too. He's ever present with his friends. And then the final match is a tag team match. A bit of a high-flying tag team match, if you ask me. Andrade, El Idolo and Dralistico, members of La Facción, defeating a makeshift team which didn't have any good chemistry of Blake Christian and Sammy Guevara. And Andrade El Idolo pins Blake Christian with the Brillante driver. 63 overall, not bad, seeing as though they weren't getting on. Blake, mid-50s, I think we've hit our peak with Blake, maybe. We'll have to see. Sammy with a 64, that's not the best from Sammy. Andrade leading the line with a 70, and Dralistico not doing very well. Not much to say about this. Let's just head straight into the main show. And we open with Bryan Danielson. He's back. And he has got his eyes firmly set on the Combat Club. Got there in the end. He hasn't forgotten what's happened. He's happy to be away from them. He makes that very clear, but he's not finished teaching them a lesson. And he says that he's not alone tonight. He has a friend for backup and would love the opportunity to have a match against the Combat Club tonight, the two of them. So the challenge has been set. 93 rated segment. Whoa, let's continue. And of course, Jon Moxley, being the man he is, never backs down. He comes straight out and says, you want a match? You're on. Claudio and I will meet you and whoever your friend is later, and we'll teach you one hell of a lesson. Wheeler not included because he has his own match tonight against Chris Jericho, so that'll be an interesting one. 81 rated, perfect, great way to start the show and set up our main event for tonight, which is Bryan Danielson and his mystery partner against the Combat Club of Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli. Let's head into our opening match. 59, cool. So in a bout that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Lance Archer, the number 1 contender for Takeshita's TNT Championship, defeats Jack Perry, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, in 9 minutes with the blackout. So they have great chemistry as well. So I guess people like seeing Jack Perry ragdolled. I do. 66 each, their rating. So that's a pretty, even Steven match in a way. But Lance Archer, of course, coming out on top. Got the crowd buzzing as well somehow. But yeah, we'll take that. And post-match, Lance Archer is not done. His manager, Jake Roberts, comes into the ring and just cuts a promo hyping up Archer versus Takeshita. Just hyping up Lance Archer, saying, do you see this beast of a man? Takeshita, I hope you rest up well because you're going to need all of your stamina and all of your strength to even come toe-to-toe with Lance. And you'll be straight back in that medical room once Lance is finished with you, but without your TNT title. So, yeah, things are heating up here. Lance Archer seems very confident, and why not? He's fucking huge. And also, when Takeshita returns, it will just be after his injury. So, not medically cleared just yet. I think he can work through it, but you don't ever want to put a wrestler through it if they're nursing an injury. So he should be back in the next week or so, and when he is, we will have this match. Moving on, we have got the Chris Jericho and Wheeler Yuta match. So in a match that had good heat and decent wrestling, Wheeler Yuta makes Chris Jericho tap with the Yuta lock. Wow. Chris Jericho losing clean against Wheeler Yuta and tapping nonetheless. 65 rated match. Jericho with a 57. Ugh. And Wheeler with a 62. I think Jericho's definitely needs to start taking a back seat in matches. He's got all the character. He's got everything you need in a wrestler, except maybe the in-ring skills now. He's declining as the days go by. But post-match, Jericho is furious. He's beside himself. He's angry that he's lost. He was hoping that this would be a nice teach a punk a lesson match, but no, Wheeler was just too good. And I think Jericho's a little bit embarrassed and annoyed at this. Paige Van Zant and Jake Hager are there. They're kind of like consoling him, but Jericho's furious. He just walks straight up the ramp. He's gone. So Wheeler gets an opportunity to celebrate the win in ring, and we move on. And we move on to Christian Cage, cutting a little promo about how smart he is. He says, "I've always got a backup plan. There's always something up my sleeve. Like, there's always something up my sleeve. This title is going nowhere, and." Just so that Jeff Cobb and any of you other challengers in the future want to try and find loopholes, you can't. The contract has been updated. It's been checked by my lawyers. It's been checked by AEW officials, and it's been co-signed by Tony Khan. So, if you want to face me, you have to go through Luchasaurus, and if you lose against me, you have to go through Luchasaurus again. That's just how it is. And Christian Cage just flexing the power that why has he got so much power? Like, I mean, I get he's the owner of the belt, but come on. Is anyone going to be able to do this? Because it seems like as soon as you beat Luchasaurus, Christian Cage is in that ring beating you down. So it's going to take one hell of a talent to do it. Is Jeff Cobb going to come back? We'll have to wait and see. Following this, though, we have some tag team action, and it is the Kings of the Black Throne using their tag team name, their PWG name, because they are now separated from Buddy Matthews, and Julia Hart is now left the company. She is on maternity leave. I don't know whether she had a boy or a girl because the game doesn't tell you that. Let's say she had a little girl. Congrats, Julia. I'll send some flowers and stuff to you in the post. But we're back here. Kings of the Black Throne get a solid, comfortable win against TMDK with a 63 rated match. I think this was kind of a bit of revenge, and unfortunately TMDK were on the end of it because they're not happy they've lost their belts, but it seems like they're going to have to stay as a tag team for now, and stay as a tag team they will. Brody King with a 62, Malachi Black with a 67, and TMDK floating around the 30s. Not the best, but we move on. Following this, though, we have Tay Mello against Mercedes Martinez. Now, after Tay Mello lost recently against Paige Van Zant, she has decided, she's made a promise to herself that she will get better, she will get stronger, and she will become a top contender in the women's division. And through this, she's been working closely with her husband Sammy, and they've been training in the ring, they've been doing things and numbers, and this is her match to kind of see how much she's progressed. And looking at this, a 63 rated match is nothing to sniff at with these two. Tay Mello with a 56 and Mercedes Martinez with a 55. So whatever Tay Mello is doing, she's doing pretty good. Following this, we have a backstage interview, and it is Hangman Adam Page talking about his loss to MJF at the most recent show. And Bandido's there, of course he is. It looks like Adam Page and Bandido have formed some kind of alliance or friendship over the last few weeks. And Adam Page says that the loss is tough to take, but I've been world champion before, and now that I've got another sniff at the belt, I'm not stopping. My eyes are laser focused on MJF and that world title, and I will do anything I can to get it back. And Bandido's there nodding away, patting his boy on the shoulder, and it seems like Bandido's going to be there all the way too. So nice little pairing here. They haven't got a name yet, so if anyone has any names, let me know. I'm thinking like the Outlaws or something. I don't know, but that's been used before. I'll have a think. 87 rated segment. Again, Adam Page golden on the mic. Not as gold as MJF, but he's a close third. I don't know. because Punk's pretty good. But yeah, this leads us straight into Adam Page's match, which is against Roosh, an 80 rating. Ooh. So the bout that had great wrestling and good heat, Adam Page defeats Roosh in 16 minutes with the Deadeye. Adam Page with a 78. He always puts on great matches. I think Adam Page is our most consistent wrestler. If I think about it, I think we started the series, he was like late 60s, and from then on it's just been 70 plus. So, you know, go on, Hangman. And Roosh as well has been great. He's getting better and better every time I see him. He's always a consistent wrestler too. But yeah, anyways, good solid hard-fought win for Adam Page. The crowd is behind this boy, as is Bandido. So he could be challenging MJF soon. It depends if there is another challenge on the horizon. But remember, Rami Sebei technically should still have a title opportunity, and Daniel Garcia of the New Wave can cash in his title opportunity at any point up until All Out, which I believe is at the beginning of September. So the clock is ticking. 80 rated though, fantastic. We head backstage now, and Chris Jericho is still so upset. He's kicking bins over, he's knocking drinks out of people's hands, takes a hot dog off of some random guy and just pushes it on the floor. Jake Hager and Paige just trying to calm him down, and Chris is like, no, this is unacceptable. I'm not having some punk embarrass me out there, making me tap. He's like, this isn't right. We need to make things right. He's like, Jake, we need to find another friend of Jericho, because then we can form a trios team and we can shut up those cocky Combat Club douches, especially that Wheeler Yuta. So Chris Jericho definitely not happy with Wheeler and wants to exact revenge. And in his eyes, exacting revenge in the form of taking the trios belts from the Combat Club, which I imagine is not an easy feat, because first of all, Jericho's got to make a friend, and if history proves anything, he doesn't have many. So we'll have to see if he can get a friend, and then if they even work well together. So yeah, 82, nice one Jericho, nice one Jake, nice one Paige. I believe this takes us to our main event, where we will find out who Bryan Danielson's partner is. And it's Zack Sabre Jr., the technical wizard himself, hailing from good old England. Bryan reveals that his tag partner is Zack Sabre Jr., and they are ready to face the Combat Club of Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli, and that is right now. 79, decent. So in a bout that had great wrestling and good heat, Bryan Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. defeat Jon Moxley and and Claudio Castagnoli of the Combat Club in 20 minutes, when Zack Sabre Jr. pins Claudio with a European clutch. So I believe that's one of his super technical submission moves that he then transitions into a pin. So yeah, just, you know, wrapping rings around these people. You know what he's like. Yeah, really great match. 72, great start for Zack Sabre Jr. He's only going to get better. Bryan with an 88, Moxley with an 85, Claudio with a 65, but he's got a hot new move, so that gives him a little boost. Great match. And yeah, Bryan's got one up on the Combat Club, so I'm sure that Moxley is not going to let that slide easily. But that does finish our show, so let's see how we did. 82, lovely. I really enjoyed booking this show. I'm trying to get the wheels moving in every segment. I don't really want there to be too many throwaway segments, and I think we did that with this one, because I do think in the past few weeks some shows have felt slightly throwaway-ish, but yeah, we're going to try and not let that happen. Lots of things happening here. Bryan returns, gets the one up. Zack Sabre Jr. debuts. He's here to stay. Jericho plotting against Wheeler for some reason, so that's like a sub-story within the Combat Club story. Adam Page is not giving up on the AEW World title and is continuing his great match streak. Tay Mello trying to prove herself and become a star of the women's division. A new look, I guess, because there's no Buddy Matthews anymore for Malachi and Brody. Christian's a dick. And yeah, the TNT match is coming up too. So yeah, lots of things happening. Great show. I will see you guys on the other side with AEW Collision. Okay, and we are here for Saturday Night Collision. But before we dive straight into this, we have a backstage incident involving Arn Anderson. Okay, it was a nice one. I'm always worried when it's one person, but so far they've all been good. He organised and won a video game tournament. Go on, Arn. If any of you have seen or watched the Hey EW series on YouTube, The Arn Anderson one is especially great. He's got a really good sense of humor. So yeah, check it out. Anyways, let's just head straight into AEW Collision. And just like Rampage, we have 3 pre-show matches to run through. The first one is apparently terrible. So in a terrible pre-show match, Sky Blue and Zayda defeat Stephanie Vaquer and Marina Shafir. When Sky Blue pins Vaquer, with the sliced bread 45 rating match. Zayda was the best. That's interesting. I didn't think that she would be. But yeah, Zayda with a 47, everyone else floating around the high 30s. Although Sky Blue and Zayda have excellent chemistry together, so that is good to see. Let's move on. And it's more tag team action. It is the Guns defeating the Iron Savages in 12:29 when Austin Gunn made Bronson submit. Which one's Austin? This one. Yes, got it right. Hey. And which one's Bronson? This one. Hey, look at me. Knowing my roster. But everyone averaging mid-40s or late 40s there. Nice one. Cool. Let's move on to the final pre-show match, which is Samantha DeMartin getting a win over Ruby Soho. The Outcasts are just losing. Maybe Toni Storm was that catalyst that made them good. Who knows? But she wins with the big boot. 47 for Samantha and 46 for Ruby. So nice to see that Samantha is getting some good numbers. We do need to try and build her up a bit because she's costing us, I think, 10k, 8k a month, which it's a lot for someone that's not already putting in the work. But yeah, 49 rating overall, that's fine. Let's head straight into the main show. And we open with Pac, who brings out the AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Lucha Brothers, and he's very happy. We haven't seen Pac happy in a while, and he is over the moon that the Death Triangle are back together because of the fact that Rey Fenix and Penta are World Tag Team Champions. They can now appear on both brands. So Pac is happy that his boys are back with him, and they are all in action next in a trios match. So let's see who that's against. It's against Matt Sydal and Best Friends. 76. Whoa. So in a bout that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Death Triangle, of course they do, get the win over Matt Sydal and Best Friends when Rey Fenix pins Matt Sydal with the Meteora. Rey Fenix was head and shoulders above everyone else. That makes complete sense because he is a star. Penta with a 77 and Pac with a 77. Rey Fenix with an 87. Whoa. Matt Sydal with a 57. Trent 59. Chuck 60. Obviously, you got that chemistry and such. Matt Sydal was off his game, which sucks because I think he's great, to be honest. I really like watching him in Ring of Honor. I wish that he kind of got more of a push. You know what I mean? Might happen in this series. I can do that. We'll see. But 76, that's a great opening match. And yeah, nice to see Death Triangle back together. Following this, though, Jay White comes out with Bullet Club Gold and says, look at this family reunion. Lovely to see. But what would be nicer to see is those two tag team titles joining my international title in Bullet Club Gold. And he kind of gestures over to Juice Robinson and Chris Bay, who kind of gesture that the belt's going to be theirs. Keith Lee, not interested in the belt apparently, just wants to destroy people. But yeah, it seems like Bullet Club Gold have their eyes on Lucha Brothers Gold. So be interesting to see where that goes, if it goes anywhere. Jay White apparently struggled going off script. I mean, you know, it's so random when that occurs. But 70 rating, solid. Let's keep going. And then we've got a battle of the big boys. Big Bill challenged Jordan Omos to a match, saying there's only enough room for one big boy around here. To which Omos agrees and basically comes out and squashes Big Bill. I've never seen Big Bill get manhandled like this. Jordan Omos defeats him with the claw. 57 rated match. Not bad, if I'm being honest. Jordan Omos has got a groundswell of public support. Stokely Hathaway did some good work at ringside. Both the guys averaging mid to late 40s. It's a battle of the big boys, you can't complain. So Omos getting his first win on the main roster in his first match on the main roster, because the last one was a pre-show. That doesn't count. Following this though, Tony Schiavone is talking to Rami Sebei, just saying, Rami, How are you feeling? You all good now? Any update on who attacked you? Rami just says, I'm feeling good. I'm ready to get back in the ring. I would love to have my title match if that is still available to me. But no, unfortunately, I'm no closer to finding out who attacked me. They're clearly cowards. They won't show their face. No one seems to know anything. It's kind of annoying, but I'm here to win matches and win championships. So I guess I'm going to have to focus on that for now. So 70 rated segment. Nice. Much better than when Rami last spoke. Yeah, we still don't know who attacked Rami. But I'm sure at some point we'll find out. We have to. That's how it works in wrestling, doesn't it? But yeah, Rami still very keen on his world title opportunity because he did earn it by defeating Darby Allin a couple of weeks back. So let's continue with the show where we head into the ring and Athena is back, and she is back to her winning ways against Thunder Rosa. So in just under 9 minutes, she wins with the O-Face. So Athena gets a 61, lovely, and Thunder Rosa with a 56, also lovely. 63 overall, very good match. And post-match, Athena grabs that mic and says that she's challenging Hikaru Shida. She says, you've been through Jamie. I'm sure Jamie's not coming back anytime soon. I think you need a new challenger, and who better than Athena, who I believe is still Ring of Honor Women's Champion. I might be wrong. We can actually jump in and take a look at Ring of Honor after this as well. Why not? We'll see how they're doing. And I'll show you the developmental system too, because I've added a few random people to that. But yeah, 42, calling out Shida. Very poor when trying to improvise, apparently. All you got to do is challenge someone, Athena. It's not that hard. But following this, we have Darby Allin in action against Roderick Strong. And in a bout that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Darby Allin defeats Roderick Strong with the coffin drop. We see a different kind of demeanor from Darby. He's a lot more aggressive now. He seems to just be all about himself. But we saw at odd points during the match, he was just kind of looking around. I'm sure he's maybe waiting for Sting to return or something. So a little bit apprehensive, but also entirely aggressive. A completely different Darby Allin now. 70 rated match, which is great. Darby Allin got a 72. Roderick Strong with a 67. This match got the crowd buzzing, apparently, and rightfully so. So Darby Allin, back from beating the living daylights out of Sting, gets himself a win. But we do have Sting coming back. Sting's music hits. Darby Allin is petrified. He's looking around. Suddenly the lights go out, and as the lights come back up, Sting is stood center of the ring, baseball bat in hand. And he goes to swing for Darby, but just as he swings for Darby, Darby manages to duck, gets out the ring, over the barricade, and he's gone through the crowd. He does not want anything to do with Sting. And Sting has just stood there, beckoning Darby to come back. But yeah, it looks like Sting is not happy with Darby Allin, and why would you be? And he definitely wants a piece of Darby, the ungrateful little shit. Everything Sting has done to help him in his career. You could say that, or you could also argue in favour of Darby. But yeah, Darby maybe not as brave as he once was a few weeks ago when he attacked Sting. So yeah, eventually they'll get their hands on each other, and what a match we hope it will be. The 67 rated segment, fair enough, gained a little bit of heat in their storyline. So let's move on. We've got a backstage segment. Remember, tonight, guys, is round 2 of New Wave versus the Elite. It's currently 1-0 to the Elite after they won in the tag bout. Tonight is the trios bout, and next week will be the singles bout, if we even get to a round 3, because if the Elite win tonight, then it's over. 2-0 and it's done. But this is a nice little interview segment where Mercedes Moné is basically just saying that we're confident we're going to even the score tonight. Last week was a fluke, although the odds were stacked against us given that the Young Bucks have been at it for so long. And we've only been a team for a few weeks, but we pushed them to the limits, and tonight we're going to get the win. So yeah, looks like they are very confident, this new wave of wrestlers. And what a team. I'm really proud of this team. I don't know why, I really like it. But yeah, Ricky Starks had a great time going off script, so Ricky seems to be the voice. Him and Mercedes seem to be the voice of this team. But that is the main event tonight. We still have a couple more things to happen until then. Back in the ring, we have got Willow Nightingale and Anna Jay, and this took a hit. Bout that had a decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Willow Nightingale defeats Anna Jay, so Anna Jay excluded from the Outcast, and once again, on her own, seems to not be able to finish the job. So Willow Nightingale with 48, Anna Jay with 41, and the crowd were turned off by this because neither of these guys have super high pop, I guess. Maybe this was one for the pre-show, but we need to get these people on the main show, because how else are they going to get better? But yeah, Willow with a nice win. Anna Jay just, poor her, let's be honest. Following this, though, we've managed to get hold of MJF. Tony Schiavone says, I spoke to Rami earlier, I'm not too sure if you saw. MJF says, of course I saw, I'm not a fucking idiot. And he just says, Rami said that he would like to still have that title match. What are your thoughts on that? And MJF says, well, ultimately it's not down to me. Tony Khan makes the rules, as he makes it very clear. But if Rami wants a match against me for the title, I'm more than happy to give it to the boy, because what have I got to be scared of? How can I be threatened by someone who turns up, gets a number one contender shot, and then just gets sidelined so easily by someone they don't even know who is? How do you get cheap shot by someone you don't recognize? I mean, it's a little bit embarrassing, if I'm being honest. So MJF, super cocky, doesn't really give a shit about Rami, and just welcomes the title match. He goes, yeah, whenever he wants it, just say the word, I'll be there to beat him. So 97, great segment. And yeah, let's continue, which I believe is main event time. The Elite, Kenny, Matt, Nick versus the New Wave, Daniel, Ricky, Swerve. Let's go. 78. Oh, nice. So in a bout that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, the New Wave defeat the Elite in 18 minutes when Daniel Garcia makes Matt Jackson tap. Wow, what a win for the New Wave, and it seems like this was a clean win as well. Kenny cannot be happy about this. So Nick with a 78, Matt with a 79, Kenny with an 88, Swerve 67, Ricky 61, and Daniel Garcia with a 66. So it is now one apiece in the best of 3 series, which means it rolls over to next week in the one-on-one match, which you would assume would be Kenny and Daniel Garcia, given that what kind of kickstarted all of this was Daniel Garcia defeating Kenny with the Ricky and Swerve involvement. So wow, got the crowd buzzing as well, and as it should. What a match this would have been. But yeah, 1-1 apiece. So who is going to get bragging rights out of the Elite and the New Wave? That will happen next week on Collision. Let me know in the comments, guys, who you think is taking it and how you think it's going to go down. So let's finish the show and see how we did. 80, I'll take that. I wasn't too sure, especially after seeing that 39 from Willow and Anna. Not their fault. They're great. It's the crowd. It's their problem. But I'll take an 80. Awesome. Yeah, Pac very happy that Death Triangle's back for now, because the second Rey Fenix and Penta lose those belts, they are straight back to Rampage. And it could be sooner rather than later, given that Bullet Club wants some more gold. Jordan Omos getting a big win against Big Bill. No CM Punk tonight, which is interesting. I kind of forgot about the guy. So Jordan Omos, disappeared away from Punk just long enough to have a match. Athena issuing a challenge to Shida. We'll have to wait to see if Shida responds. Darby Allin, a new, really dastardly Darby Allin, we'll call him, taking out Roderick Strong, and then running like a little pussy boy from Sting. Yeah, great show. I think the last 2 shows I've really enjoyed booking, so hopefully that continues. But as I said, we are going to just quickly take a look at the creative, and we will also take a look at the title, see what their prestige is saying, and I'll quickly dive into Ring of Honor because I'm curious to see who are their champions. So yeah, we'll do all of that right now. Okay, and here we are in creative. This list just starts getting smaller and smaller as the weeks go by. I guess it's either because these guys are getting bigger and bigger, or maybe who was here, which I think was it Chris Jericho and John Moxley before, or was it Kenny and John Moxley? Either way, they're no longer franchise players. MJF obviously top of the list. I'm surprised that Bryan is second. I would have thought CM Punk would be, but yeah, they're both doing very good. Has to be considered the lead babyface, and he's the number one wrestler. Not even babyface or heel, number one wrestler. Love that. Next big things. Again, this list is getting shorter, probably because I've thrown a few of these in developmental, which we'll take a look at afterwards. But Hook is still up there. Takeshita is still up there. Bandido is up there. Nice. These two definitely I can see growing massively. They're already great talents. Hook, he's 24 though. We've got a lot of time with this guy. I think, 5-6 years time, this guy will be great. But do we have the patience for that? Probably not. Hot prospects, Hook again topping that list. Jamie Hayter, great. Even though she doesn't have the belt on her, she can still do great things. Or she might win the belt back, who knows. Takeshita again, current champion. He'll be back in days, I believe now. It's just a few days, and we'll see him back in action. Trish Adora, someone I signed. Haven't used her the most, but yeah, she's got a great future ahead of her. And Bandido again, we love Bandido. Talk the talk, yeah, makes sense. MJF is not number one. Whoa. Jericho, Moxley, Danielson, yeah, this all makes sense. Showstoppers, again, makes sense. Great to see Mercedes Moné there. Honestly, I think she could be a bit higher. But MJF, I think, has proven himself. Like, man is all the way up there. Kenny, though, is apparently our best showstopper, so we'll have to make use of that. I mean, we might see him in action next week in the main event with the New Wave and the Elite. Ring Generals, kind of the same thing. These are just more consistency based. I do not know why Adam Cole is here. He is not good in the ring. I mean, he's consistent, like consistently average. Like he average. Can we jump to Adam Cole now? Yeah, let's look at his match history. I'm curious. So we've got 72 in the Super Elite match at Forbidden Door, a 70 against Best Friends. But look, it's just 50s, 60s. That's all it is. Not great. I don't get that. Yeah. Whereas let's compare him to Bryan, for example. I know Bryan's obviously the best, but let's see. Yeah, 79, 80, 81, 80, 65. There's not good. 80, 75. Like, let's try Roderick. What's Roderick saying? It'd be high 60s, early 70s. It's not that great. But yeah. Anyways, who's hot? Let's see. MJF makes sense. Ray Phoenix makes sense. Jade Cargill. Yeah, I guess makes sense. I mean, she had a crazy win streak before her most recent loss, and we haven't seen her in action since. So, yeah, her momentum is still high. Kenny, yeah, he's great. And Adam Page is working his way up there. I imagine sooner rather than later, Adam Page is going to be fighting for that top spot with MJF. Who's not? No one, which is fantastic. And let's take a look at some hidden gems. You might want to try and sign some. Because remember, we do have our developmental section now. So Calvin Tankman isn't very well known. Let's take a look at him. Why not? I mean, great stats. Let's be honest. Yeah. Who's he at the moment? What's his match history like? Highest rating 68. Where is that? 60, 60, 60, 60, 60. Am I blind? I feel like everyone is now being like, it's right there, Ted, it's right there. I don't see. Oh, there it is. So this is a mixed tag. Oh, Cole Radrick, Tom Lawler, Big Damo. Very random group of people at Bet on Black. Always Bet on Black. Label Pro. Cool. Calvin Tankman. Interesting. I don't know anything about this guy. But it can't hurt to make an offer and then throw him in Ring of Honor. You know what I mean? Jacob Fatu, not interested. Eva Marie, not interested. Matt Cardona, maybe down the line. And AJ Gray, I'm not a big fan of his look. The stats are subpar. Nah, we're good. So that's it for the creative. As promised, let's jump into developmental. Okay, and I thought there was more names in here than there actually is. But I think I've got a few signees waiting to actually sign. So that's probably why it's not as long. But we've got Action Andretti still slumming it down here. Called momentum. He's lost all that momentum he had with us. Anthony Agogo, warm momentum. Let's just quickly check some match histories. Any high numbers? No. I'm looking for 68 to 70s. No, of course not. Brian Pillman Jr., called momentum. That means he's been losing. Nice. Brock Anderson. I mean, I'm sure he's hardly ever used. Yeah, don't blame them. Charlie Evans is a recent signee. She's got great skills here. We just need that pop to go up. How's she doing? Yeah, mid to late 50s. Cool. Darius Martin. We re-signed Darius. Yeah, I think it was a mistake. Dante's gone. Darius is here, the one that actually can wrestle. How's he been doing? Oh, he's 71 at Ring of Honor. Ooh. Keep an eye on him. Denzel, that was the guy that was top for ages. Has he had any matches? One, and it got 23. Okay. Saya Cassidy. I'm not going to do the rest of these. Mei Segura. Oh, yes, I remember now. I signed this Mei Saruga. Yeah. I signed her just because she had some mad stats down here. Yeah, basics really high. Consistency, safety, stamina, athleticism. Like, this is great. And then here we got some great charisma and all of this. Sex appeal, you know, whatever. But these were all great. And then these are things that will just grow as they get older. She's 24. I think she was unemployed. Brought her in Ring of Honor. And yeah, here. 59 rated match. She defeats Athena for the Ring of Honor Women's World title. So she is currently, that's probably why Athena's on our show, trying to get the women's belt, because she's lost it at Ring of Honor. But yeah, doing pretty well with her numbers. High 67. She's one to keep an eye on. Mizuki from, I love a bit of TJPW, not going to lie. We've got Suzume as well. There might be a few more on the way. And yeah, 77 rated match there. Boom. That is in Japan though, so take it with a pinch of salt. Red Velvet, not bothered about. Satnam, has he had any matches? 52 is his best. Oh, that was with us. Don't worry. And Suzume, I think we literally just signed her, so there'll be no Ring of Honor matches. It's all TJPW. And then Titus Alexander, again, super young and has got decent beginning stats. Has he had any matches? He's got a 66 somewhere, so that's pretty good. But yeah, that's developmental. Now that we know we have a new women's world title in Ring of Honor, let's just quickly check the rest of the titles, and that'll be it for the video. Okay, here we are with the Ring of Honor belts. Katsuyori Shibata is still the pure champion. Can't see anyone taking that from him, if I'm being honest. He could be someone that we might want to call up. I don't know. He seems like a bit of a bit part guy, so maybe not. Women's World, as we saw, was Mei Saruga defeating Athena. She hasn't had any defenses yet. The world is still Claudio. Cool, that makes sense. 5 successful defenses. 6-man is still Brian Cage, Bishop Corn, and Toa Leona. Oh, they're the tag team champions of Ring of Honor still too. So they are double belting it. That's pretty cool. And then the TV champion is Juice Robinson. That surprised me as well. He defeated Samoa Joe a while ago. So yeah, those are the Ring of Honor champions. And I realised we didn't show our titles. This is all over the place. Let's jump to that, and that's how we'll end the show. Okay, I promise this is the last thing that you guys see, but just wanted to check the prestige, if I'm being honest. So current champion Jay White with our international belt, 47 prestige. Is there a way to track prestige? Yes. Okay, it's gone up by 2. Cool. Yeah, he's had 2 defenses and he beat Orange Cassidy. The TBS is 14 Nyla Rose. We've had 2 champions since our save. Let's track the prestige on this one. Gone up by 1. Well, hey. Yeah, Jade Cargill losing to Chris Statlander, who lost it pretty quickly to Nyla Rose. TNT champion Takeshita defeated Powerhouse Hobbs, 53. Gone up by 1. Hey, everything's gone up by 1 or 2. Hikaru Shida defeated Jamie Hayter very recently, 47. And gone up by 1. Hey, we're going to leave the world one till the end. We've got our current champions here, the Lucha Brothers, 63. In our save, it started with the Guns, then FTR, and now it's these guys, 62 to 63, gone up by 1. What do you think this has gone up by? Obviously, House of Black held it for a very long time, but they recently lost it to the Combat Club, and it's gone up by 1. And then we've got the FTW, which Christian has been holding on to with dear life, defeating, and then it was stolen from him by Taz and Hook, and then he won it back, and that has gone up by 1. And the final thing to check is the world title, 77. Lovely. MJF on a great streak, 6 successful defenses yet to be beaten. And let's see, how many did that go up by? None. It went up in June and then it went back down. Maybe we need to start defending that more often. But at the same time, it's a big belt. You don't want to be defending it all the time. But let's end the show just looking at our franchise player, our number one guy, MJF. And let's look at his match history, because he has been loaned to Impact before. And he lost to who's Jason Hodge? What? Yeah. But yeah, great matches here. Average is 75. That might be our highest average from everyone. But yeah, I'm wasting time now. I'm talking. Let's leave it on our boy MJF. Thank you for watching, guys. I really enjoyed booking these last few shows. It's going to continue. And we are heading into August, where there are no events. Our next event is All Out, our season finale. So we've got a month of build-up. And I will see you guys there. Thank you very much. See ya. Bye.